On the final night of the year, under blinding lights and roaring cheers, Xiao Zhan broke down mid-song. His voice trembled, his eyes filled with tears, and in that fragile silence, fans around the world asked the same question. Who is that song really for? New Year's Eve is supposed to be loud, fireworks exploding, crowds counting down, smiles frozen for the camera. But that night, something felt different. Xiao Zhan stepped onto the stage carrying more than just a microphone. There was a stillness in his posture, a quiet weight in his gaze. As the opening notes began, the atmosphere softened. This wasn't a performance meant to impress. It felt like a confession disguised as music. His voice flowed gently at first, controlled, careful. Then, halfway through the song, everything shifted. His breathing changed, the pitch wavered, and suddenly, the composure he had built for years began to crack. Xiao Zhan lowered his head. His eyes shimmered under the stage lights. And before anyone could process it, tears fell. Not dramatic, not theatrical, just real. The audience fell silent. Online, millions froze their screens. Because in that moment, it no longer felt like a New Year's song. It felt like a farewell, or perhaps a memory resurfacing at the wrong time. And without a single name being spoken, one presence echoed loudly in the hearts of fans. A name the song never mentioned, yet somehow everyone heard it. Fans didn't need subtitles to understand what they were witnessing. Emotion doesn't require translation. The lyrics spoke of distance, of time passing without closure, of someone once close, now standing far away. Every line landed softly, but painfully. As Xiao Zhan struggled to maintain control, viewers noticed the details. The way his hands tightened around the microphone, the brief pause before certain words, the way his voice softened whenever the melody dipped low. This wasn't coincidence. To fans, it felt intentional. Social media erupted within minutes. Clips replayed again and again. Comments flooded in from every corner of the world. He wasn't just singing, he was remembering. That pain looked familiar. And then the connections began. The song choice, the timing, the emotion that surfaced without warning. Fans recalled the long journey Xiao Zhan has walked. Years of pressure, public scrutiny, silence where answers were expected. Through it all, he remained composed. Until that night. Because sometimes emotions wait patiently. They stay hidden until a quiet moment gives them permission to rise. And for many fans, this wasn't just about music anymore. It was about someone who once shared the same stage, the same era, the same unforgettable chapter. Wang Yibo's name was never spoken that night. Not once, not even hinted at directly. And yet, for many fans, his presence felt unmistakable. Not because of rumors, not because of assumptions, but because of history that cannot be erased simply by silence. Two names, two paths that once crossed at a moment too intense to be forgotten. A chapter that shaped an entire generation of fandom memory. Fans did not jump to conclusions lightly. They revisited timelines. They revisited lyrics. They revisited emotions that had been buried for years. The song Xiao Zhan chose carried themes that felt deeply personal, about words left unsaid, about someone who once stood close enough to touch, and about time that keeps moving even when the heart doesn't. As Xiao Zhan sang those lines, his eyes betrayed him. There was no performance technique in those tears, no rehearsed gesture, just a man momentarily losing control over emotions. He had likely trained himself to suppress for a very long time. That is why the moment felt raw, and that is why it resonated. Fans weren't pointing fingers. They weren't demanding confirmation. They were recognizing something painfully human. The way unresolved connections linger long after people move on publicly. Sometimes the deepest relationships are not defined by how they end, but by how quietly they disappear. And perhaps that was what made the moment unbearable. Because when something ends without closure, it doesn't fade, it waits. What made this moment even more powerful was Xiao Zhan's decision to say nothing afterward. No interview clarification, no social media explanation, no carefully crafted statement, just silence. In an industry where every emotion is expected to be explained, that silence felt intentional. It was a boundary, a quiet reminder that not every feeling belongs to the public, even if it unfolds on a public stage. Fans respected that. Instead of pushing for answers, they responded with empathy, with patience, with understanding born from shared experience. Because everyone knows what it's like to step into a new year carrying old emotions. The memories you promised yourself you'd let go of. The names you avoid saying out loud. The feelings that return when music unlocks them. That night, Xiao Zhan wasn't just an idol singing to fans. He was a man confronting a past that briefly resurfaced under unforgiving lights. And that vulnerability spoke especially loudly to women across the world. Those who understand emotional restraint, who have loved deeply, and who know the quiet pain of unfinished stories. This wasn't about scandal. This wasn't about speculation. It was about recognition. The recognition that even the strongest, most composed figures carry invisible weight. As the performance ended, the applause returned. The countdown continued. The world moved forward into a new year. But something lingered. That moment, those tears, that fragile honesty, stayed with the audience long after the music faded. Whether the song was meant for Wang Yibo or for a memory Xiao Zhan never fully released, may never be answered, and perhaps it doesn't need to be, because not all stories require confirmation. To be real, some emotions exist precisely because they were never resolved. That night, Xiao Zhan didn't offer explanations. He offered truth, and truth, when revealed without warning, has the power to connect strangers across cultures, ages, and borders. As fans replay the clip, they aren't searching for evidence. They're searching for meaning. Meaning in vulnerability. Meaning in restraint. Meaning in the quiet courage it takes to feel deeply in front of the world. So maybe the real question isn't who the song was for. Maybe the real question is why so many hearts recognize themselves in it. And perhaps that is exactly why the moment will never be forgotten.